Hello and welcome to the May Contain Action podcast episode. I do not know.
2 of
My
season
name is
3.
Paul. This is season 3. Season 3. Yeah, season 3 episode. I don't know. My name is Paul, also known as Action Jackson, and my co-host, as always, the one and only legendary Hall of Fame middle relief pitcher, Trevor May. Welcome, Trevor May.
Hey, I'm a closer now. I don't know if you've seen the internet.
Nope,
but
you're middle relief in my life. That's all you ever be. Middle relief.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Trevor, great to have you, buddy. And of course, making it all work behind the scenes, our magic man, our magic Mike, if you will, Peter, Italian last name, also known as PM. PM. Glad to have you here.
Insert Italian name here.
Italian last name. I'm gonna give you 3 shots to pronounce it. Go ahead. 3 shots.
Okay. All right. Here we go. First shot. Yep. Peter Gabagool.
Okay. Yes. So close.
Okay. All right. Peter Mekamanako.
Yes, that is more Japanese, but go ahead. Third one.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Here we go. Peter Mazakako.
Close, but there is no cock in my name, so you're very close. Mazako. Trevor got it. It's Mazako.
It's Mazako. Dang it. Okay, so, Mazako.
Yeah, the first O is more of like an A, but when we went back to my family's hometown, the way they pronounced it, I heard it and it was like slicing like fresh bread. I was just like, yes, like this is how it's supposed to be. It was like Mazoko. It was like I was like, oh, this is beautiful.
Mazoko. Like the mouth barely moves.
Yeah, it barely moves, and like they did the hand movement with it too, and I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I love the hand movement. It's my favorite thing in the whole world.
Well, welcome back to the pod, guys. We're gonna get this sketch down. All right. So to our faithful listeners that are stuck with us, thank you. And if you're new here, go listen to other stuff. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of episodes.
Yeah,
in the works.
While we're a shit show, go listen to all the old stuff, and then come on back.
While we're a shit show, we'll get our shit together. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So Trevor, congratulations on being done with the season, man.
Thank you very much.
Finished. How does it feel to be in the off season?
It feels very good to be here.
Awesome.
Not there, but here. No, yeah, we got home. We're officially in the Seattle house. This Seattle, I hate saying that. We're home in my home, the home that I own.
Yeah, the Seattle house.
And yeah, 3 days of driving, 19 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We went the hardest way possible to get home because, of course, we did. Been home for 2 days. Day 2 home, and I get to fly to New York City tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for a wedding. So
really, who's getting married? Like a close friend,
someone
family,
someone we know.
Someone you know.
Someone
right.
knows. No, I'm just kidding.
And if you're like in the wedding or no?
No, we're not in the wedding. So this is actually friends we made while we played for the Mets. We being me, and it was a really good. They became very good friends. First person she met in the city, and she met her husband. They're in their late 30s, and they were like she's been like, all right, I'm ready to settle down, and she met a guy, and a year later they're getting married. So
hey, dude, when you know, you know.
When you know, you know, and he's awesome. We met him a couple times too, so like they're just cool. And I mean, it's gonna be on Governor's Island. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really. They're gonna do a really good party. She's like a professional chef, and he's a doctor, and it's gonna be fun. But I'm also super tired. So.
Oh, understandable. Yeah, because you just you went on a road trip. What was that about? Just to go, like just to celebrate.
Yeah. We got to have vacation immediately, so we did that. We drove up to a place.
Absolutely no downtime.
No downtime. We went to a place called Sea Ranch in Northern California, which is cool. It's right on the beach. Like I got a bunch of cool pictures.
Nice.
And you go up Highway 1, so you just like drive along the like cliffs of the beach. It's the windiest road on the planet, and I get car sick, so that was awful. And then the next day we went to like cross over the mountains, go back more inland, and then go up to Oregon, and then stay at another lodge And
Where did you stay in my home state?
out just outside of Medford. Uh,
Oof. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
no,
apologize.
it's just Kelso, but of Oregon.
Hmm.
And but like the road to get us from Sea Ranch to Medford was
Mm.
literally like there was no lines. It was like a driveway for 40 miles through the mountains.
No way, really?
Yeah, I'm just looking at Kate like, what is happening? She's like, I didn't know that the road was like this, and we had to stop like 17 times. I was like, oh, I'm gonna throw up, and just like sat there for 5 minutes, calmed down, went like 2 miles, got sick again because I ran out of Dramamine, so that sucked.
No.
But like eventually we got down. It was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It was like 72 degrees and just not a cloud in the sky the whole time. So like it was gorgeous and really cool,
Yeah.
and it's like a redwood forest. So like, but when you're like dizzy, it's not as fun. But then we got an I-5 and then I-5 all the way up. So,
Oh, yeah.
And
that's long.
at the second lodge, they had like it was like a bed and breakfast type situation. They have a cat. So we walk in at like 9 p.m. There's nobody in the lobby or whatever. They're all gone home or whatever. They're like, hey, your key's right here. Just your room's back there. Have a good time. And then the cat followed us and literally stayed in our room with us.
It stayed in your room with you?
Yeah, and we didn't know his name. He wasn't wearing a collar. I was like, he's like 10. He ended up being 17 years old. No collar. We're like, oh, it's
What?
Smokey. It's obviously named Smokey. It was like a dark gray cat. We're like Smokey. And the next morning we hear the proprietor of the place outside in the back going, Smokey, Smokey. I'm like, there's no effing way that his name is actually Smokey, and it was the cat's name was Smokey. And he curled up at the foot of our bed all night.
He sensed that you guys
just
were
knew.
Owners of a cat.
He just
Of
knew.
cats.
And I was missing our cats a lot, so like I was pumped to have a cat. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
That was a funny little thing. And then we got home, and now we're home, and then tomorrow we're not going to be home. So
man, you'll get to settle down one day.
Someday. So yeah, I just have the PC kind of just like jankily thrown together, but it's working, and my normal camera.
Sounds good.
So
yeah. I appreciate you setting it up. I didn't realize you got home in so late.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucked. I'm going to be honest, it sucked. But it was also awesome at the same time. I'm just so tired. And I really just want to set this whole thing up. I just want to be like set up and done. And I got to wait another 4 days. But
yeah,
there's no rush. There's no rush.
Dude, yeah. I mean, doing what you do and having to travel as much, like some people are just okay with that. Like some people are like nomads. I very much need like my space, like a set home base station set up, and to be in that place for a long, long time.
Oh yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah, yeah. I always like a space. I mean, you bought a house, you'd like to live in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice.
But I did get a bunch of new stuff for the office and the desk area and stuff. Like literally like gadgets and stands and all kinds of stuff. A place called Groove Made, I think is the website I used.
Grove Made.
Made. Oh, it's
I've heard of them a bunch. Yeah.
So
Grove Made.
Yeah, it's very aesthetically pleasing. Oh yeah, Paul, So like when just for context,
not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored.
Not
sponsored.
But sponsored.
Just for context, for everyone who doesn't know this, Paul and I have actually talked recently quite a bit about how now I'm getting obsessed with like I'm finally in on like unboxing and like tech reviews.
Yes.
And I'm so screwed.
Yeah, dude, it's
I may have bought a new toy just because of our boy Unbox Therapy.
What'd you buy?
I bought the Anchor Make.
Anchor
You got suckered into the Anchor products, didn't you?
Oh no, I've used Anchor I love Anchor stuff. Like it really is for travelers, especially traveling. Their stuff holds up forever.
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
3D printer.
3D printer.
Yeah, he did a video testing.
He did a video and he was pumped about this thing, bro. He loved it.
Oh yeah, dude. He did one where he tested all the iPhones because apparently there's like an overheating issue, and he had like 30 Anchor chargers, and he's like, "Here's the small charge one, here's the big one, and here's the extra big one," and they're all like lined up together. And I'm like, dude, you have way too much product.
He loves them. And to be honest, their charging situation too. Now that like I'm looking at if I went to like record a video or went like out somewhere and needed to take a bunch of video of something, or if I wanted to do a film and I'm out, like Anchor does
Yeah.
all the stuff you'd ever need to recharge everything on like as you go, like fast. It's like the
Yeah, Anchor has
fastest.
great stuff.
They have
Yes.
great stuff. So, and then now they're doing they just about to release like a portable Powerwall thing, like for solar systems, like
Really?
a big battery, one of the big ones that you would put in your wall, like, but it goes on wheels and you can roll it like outside if you want to use
What?
it. Yeah. So, and they haven't released it. They're releasing like I think. Oh no, it's in 3 days. It comes out on October 9th. I know when the release date is. Oh God.
We really need to get on an Anchor sponsorship and quick.
We really do. Sweet
Yeah,
heavens.
they're great.
Oh, dude.
Anyway, so
That's very
that's
exciting.
I went
Anyway,
down that
sorry.
rabbit hole. And now I'm getting a
Yeah.
bunch of like little knickknacks and things.
Love knickknacks. That's fantastic news.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, quick update on me.
Yeah. Let's hear about
You know, before we get into the meat, you know what I mean? Because I got stuff. I do things. I'm getting more into AI. Since you guys have been talking about it. Yeah. But like real base level stuff. Like nothing crazy. But I have been using it to make my YouTube thumbnails. And it has been freaking good, dude. Like,
what do you do?
Great.
Like, what do you prompt? Like, what do you put into where?
I would love to tell you. So I use a website called imagineme.ai, and you upload. And by the way, I feel like if you're going to use AI, you're assuming a level of like my likeness is out there. But I also have thousands of hours of content of my face on the internet. So it's like, I don't really care. Anyway, the point is, Russia has my stuff. So I use this app. You upload your face to it. It learns your face. It takes like a day. It takes a while for it to process.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it takes a while.
So you like train it on your photo.
You trained it on 20 photos.
Oh, okay.
Kind of similar to what it was when that. Yeah. That app that was pretty popular a while ago. Yeah, it was pretty neat. Anyway, so I use that and upload my face to it. And then you can say, put me in this situation. So you type whatever situation. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. So I was like, make me a cowboy with, you know, a black and white aesthetic and a like worn picture look and at a saloon with a gun on my hip. And it freaking nails it. It looks so good. You can also choose the art style and everything, but it looks fantastic. So I've been using that to make my thumbnails for like very unique images. But then I also just yesterday found another AI solution that uses, what the heck is this thing called? Insight Face Swap. So you make like a Discord server, you upload a single image of your face, and then you put whatever image you want. So like I put, for instance, the new Modern Warfare 3 image with Soap McTavish. And then I'm just like, imagine me in this. And it superimposes your face into the image, but with deadly accuracy. So it gives you the facial expression of whatever person it sees in the image. And it also adds whatever scars or art style is applicable to that image.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it just melds it in seamlessly. I've done it with photos. I've done it with CGI, and I've done it with like paintings and stuff. And it's outstanding. So anyway,
I love that. So in my opinion, that type of use, you're having images generated. So like, here's the conversation people be like, get artists make art though, and you need to. And I get that. I trust me. I'm fully in on that. But what you're doing is you have a vision. You're like, I want this to be like so if you were like, put my face in the Call of Duty thing, someone would be then photoshopping your face in. So like the work would still be being done, just not as well and take way longer.
Exactly.
Probably.
Exactly.
So like, you're like, I know what I'm trying to get. So if I know what I'm trying to get specifically, like very specifically, might as well have it generated and save me all because it's going to get made, or I'm not going to make it because it's a pain in the ass now at this point. I don't know how to do this step by step. This is where I think it is extremely valuable this is a great use case that is, I think is still artistic and like, it's still like true to like I'm creating something that's new.
Exactly.
world as opposed to being like, give me 10 photos that could be used in this situation. Like that's now you're
Mhm.
not having any ideas. You're having it give you all it's doing the whole process. And that
Yes.
feels very meh to me. I don't like that.
It's
But I
also
do
tough too
like what you're
because
doing.
yeah, well, thank you. And I understand that could be controversial. I totally understand
Well,
that.
I mean, to be fair, you could still use it as like a jumping off point, and then if you really want it to be made, you can go to an artist and be like, "Here's
Exactly.
inspiration."
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like
Exactly.
if
Exactly.
if anything, you're gonna make the artist's life easier by being like, "Here's kind of what I want. Can
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
start with this?" As opposed to saying like ten sentences of like what you're trying to imagine.
Yeah. And
Yes.
then just picking
Yeah.
one. Like that's
And it's tough too because it's like a fine line. Like I'm all for the writer strike and then like getting some concessions or conditions around AI use and things like that. I'm also not Hollywood studios. Like I'm a small creator
yeah,
who makes
100%.
mostly his own content. And I feel like this is a tool that I can use, which I can save whatever money I have and put it towards content rather than like trying to work out something with like a thumbnail person on Fiverr, like working through that process or
Yeah,
whatever.
it just speeds the workflow
Yeah.
up. That's the best way
It
to look at
does.
it.
It
Hmm.
does. It
Speeds the
speeds it up. It's a
workflow, saves you
tool.
money. And
Yeah.
if you think about it this way, if it weren't this easy, then it probably wouldn't exist then at that point. Then that's the barrier to now you have
Mm,
a big enough barrier to where you're just not going to do it. And
yeah.
so then that hurts you and that hurts then there's now something that could have been cool that people would have liked doesn't exist because you
Exactly.
didn't know how to do it or didn't want to do it or whatever. And if that allows more cool ideas to start happening and existing, yeah, of course there's going to be a bunch of just crap. There always is.
Yes.
Look at NFTs. Like it's just the way
Oh.
it is. People are like, oh, that
Yeah.
works. So now 10 million people are going to
Yeah.
do it, right? And now the original
Yeah.
value is gone. So like, there's going to be a point where that stuff starts to happen, and now everything's made with AI, and everyone's like, ugh. And then we'll get turned off to it, and then it'll settle, and
We're
that's
kind
Yes.
of
just how it
already in
works.
Yeah, we're kind of
Mhm.
already at the end of that bubble in
Yeah,
general. Like a lot of people are just using ChatGPT's like API to create like really interesting cheap applications that people are just using as like marketing material. And it's kind of now reaching that point where people who use AI have like a very specific purpose for it, and they usually just use ChatGPT.
which is
Um,
Mhm.
I think the best. That's I think that's the world in which
yeah.
being used like that is the best world, where it's
Yes.
a tool as opposed to a
Well,
crutch.
did you see what they put out just recently?
Where?
Um
ChatGPT? No.
Yeah, ChatGPT. So OpenAI can now scrape data
Yeah, on
that's
Bing.
after 2021.
Can you plug in
So
with Bing now?
Oh,
Right?
that's right. With the plugins
yeah.
and all that stuff.
So no, like just in
Yeah.
general. So
Oh, okay.
ChatGPT
Oh.
before was like, yeah, we can't do data before 2021, but because now they can do web scraping, they can get data
Perfect.
instantly. Like depending on what time or day it is. So it's kind of like the next advancement of it.
Mm.
So like I truly feel bad. Like I think Google eventually is going to be casted out for a lot of things because I just think a lot of people default to Chat GPT for simple answers. Like I think Google is going to be used for like show me the nearest restaurant that has this. But when it comes to questions like why is a whale only available in this area, like people will just go to Chat GPT, I
Yeah,
think, at that point.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
I think
I
it's a
think
long
it's
way from that, but I think that it's heading that way.
yeah.
I mean, but the broader public for sure.
I mean, like if I'm because I'm a huge sports guy, especially for college football.
you
I
are
can now
no
just
way.
go to Chat GPT and be like, give me the QBR breakdown for Oregon State football for 2023, and it'll
Yeah.
like pull it all out, give me all the stats. But if I Google it, it'll be like, here's 7 websites that you could start to look at. So I think Google is going to have to get really creative here if Chat GPT becomes this much more powerful.
Hey,
Yeah.
Um,
No, I
I'm
think you're
glad
right.
someone's fighting them. I'm glad that
yeah,
we're getting a
me
shakeup
too.
here.
Yeah.
It's good. But they always say, we're the ones that are going to innovate. Bah. Well, here you go. Do it. Let's see what you got.
Here's your time.
Let's see what you got. If I could quickly touch on one last thing before we hop into our main topic of the day,
Yeah.
really, because we do play video games, and now that I have time to play video games, Paul, you mentioned playing RDR, so let's real quickly go around the table.
Mhm.
Is that your main game at the moment? Really enjoying it?
No, I did finish it, and it
Oh,
was
okay.
phenomenal. The story was outstanding. It
Oh,
was
it's
fantastic.
incredible. Yeah.
It's one of the best video game stories I've ever played. Highly recommend if you haven't played it already. But no, currently I'm playing. What am I playing? Basically, New World is kind of the thing right now. They
It's
just dropped
back.
the DLC. It's back. They have mounts now.
Cool.
Friends are playing it, so I've been playing. That's been kind of fun. Met some new people through it. Jen's playing it too. So Genticles, if you don't, I mean, I think our listeners would know who Genticles is, but regardless, she's playing it, and it's been a lot of fun playing with friends.
Awesome.
You played Counter-Strike yesterday, right?
Oh yeah, in CS when I have a full group. See, dude. Oh, and side note, I just realized this really quick. I think I'm going to buy that Anchor Make 3D printer with the cases I have from CS:GO because I have thousands of dollars worth of cases from when I played CS:GO back in the day.
Do you
That
really?
have, yeah, the cases I have that were worth like 5 cents, 9 cents are
You can
worth
sell 'em now?
$8, $9 now.
And you
Yeah,
just never opened them?
I never open them. I'd give them for free.
Smart.
People just send them to me. So I have a stockpile.
Yeah, go buy you an Anchor Make.
Yeah.
I got dude. There's so many things I'm doing. I just got to put this thing together. I think I want to do it on stream. I opened the box. I was like, do I want to put this thing together? Open the thing, and it was like quick start. And it was like 90 steps. I was like,
90 steps.
if I'm gonna get
Yes.
frustrated, I might as well do it on camera. So
Yeah, there you go.
I'll wait to do it there. Cool.
Yeah.
PM, you playing anything recently? Fortnite still a little bit?
Yeah, still playing Fortnite. I
Love
just
it.
haven't really found anything else, honestly. Like nothing else is really. Well, honestly, it's because my friends play it all the time too. So you
That's
just
why
kinda
we play
gravitate.
games, guys. We're
Yeah,
all
it's just
30.
whatever your friends play. But
Almost.
Exactly.
I mean, the new UEFN to make maps has been really awesome. I want to give a quick shout out to Squatting Dog for he's made, I think, like 6 or 7 maps that have become like internationally trending maps.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
he's been head deep in it, and he recreated a CS:GO map called like Rats FN or something, like Rats something. And that blew up, and he's done a bunch of other maps, and he's fully invested into it. And I'm trying to learn the programming language to kind of help him build better maps. It's called Verse. That's their programming language,
Cool.
but their documentation is so awful that I can't get my head around it, and so I'm just kind of waiting for that to improve.
All language documentation is a nightmare. All of it.
Yeah,
I'm like, you have to have a degree just to read this shit. Like that's probably the biggest thing. Everyone's like, I'm gonna go learn this thing. They go and they look one inch in. They're like, never mind. I'm gonna just go the rest of my life not knowing how to do that because that's not worth it. ChatGPT, come on, figure it out for us.
No, and that's the thing is it's
yeah.
new language, and so ChatGPT doesn't even know what to do.
Ooh.
Like if I ask a question like, "Oh, how does this work with this?" It's like, "Oh, this kind of looks like C++.
It guesses, right?
You know, this is the answer." And I'm like, "Nope, you're just hallucinating that. That's not the answer here." So
Hallucinating.
I always say, can you quote your sources at the bottom of the page? And sometimes it's got lots of really good sources. Sometimes it's like Wikipedia. You're like, okay, that's probably not.
Oh, that's
the right one.
I didn't know that you could do that. I'm gonna start doing that.
You can say, can you give me a bibliography at the end with the main sources? Because it could go forever. But yeah, you can have it. You can have it. Also, like when you have it do math, just say, also, please show your work and it'll do it step by step so you can make sure it's right.
Interesting.
That's
Dude, imagine being a student, man. Like, let's just go back to like your algebra days, right? Like you're sitting and doing your homework, and you're just like x minus this plus this divided by that, and you're just like, oh my goodness, you could just literally drop it in ChatGPT and be like, give me the 10-step breakdown and show everything.
Seriously.
I don't know how, if you're a student in today's high school, how you don't have straight A's.
Hey kids, even more interestingly, you can be like, hey, show me the step-by-step process and also explain why each one is important. And then now you learned it.
That's cool.
And now you can do it. And when your teacher asks you, you can also know. And then, so therefore, you not only did you get the right answer, you also learned how to do it. So you killed 2 birds. It's great.
A quick question about that. Do you think that's going to breed a generation of kids that like actually discovered that they want to learn something as opposed to
Hopefully.
just doing the work.
I hope teachers use this. I hope teachers use this and like use it as part. I hope we have some people who are savvy or like really interested in themselves, and they use it to help them teach kids, and then they actually use it in their classrooms and teach kids that it's why it's super cool and why it can make their lives better and make them the best version of themselves. I hope that's what happens.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'm thinking like I was flirting like, oh, I want to go get a computer science degree because I really love programming right now and developing. But like, at what point does a student who's like an early CS major just put everything in ChatGPT to like get the answers, or do they actually go, you know what? No, I actually want to learn this because I want to be able to do it. And so I wonder what that threshold is going to be for students when, you know, maybe you're taking like a math 101 and you're like, I genuinely don't care. But then when it comes to like programming something, you're like, okay, cool. I can't use ChatGPT because I actually want to know how to do this.
Yeah, it's just like anything.
I wonder how they're going to navigate that.
It's going to be both, and it's going to be incentives. Like, what is the incentive of learning this? What's the incentive of just getting the answer? Right.
Exactly.
So, and unfortunately, just getting the answer is going to be really highly incentivized, especially in college. So it's going to be there's going to be a lot of that, and it's going to be up to the individual user. But it's just like anything else, man. You can cheat if you want to cheat, and it's just it getting easier. It makes more people do it, very obviously. But hopefully, us getting fired up, for example, maybe there's one person listening to this like, I'm going to use AI for good, not evil, right? So hopefully. I love that I was like, what games are we playing? And we're talking about AI again. Really quick though, my games, though I have not played a ton of games recently, I'm super pumped. I'm going to do a Baldur's Gate campaign.
Hell yeah.
Because it's just too good of a game. Like, the things I've read in the reviews, everyone's like, this is the best, one of the best RPG games in a long time. So I love Baldur's Gate, and I want to play D&D too. So this is all good. It's just all working out. And then I think that there's going to be a real ongoing long-term hardcore Minecraft solo world that I'll start and just kind of keep coming back to and slowly make.
You're in
like
that
YouTube
phase.
series. I'm in that phase.
You're
back
going
to
through
Minecraft.
That phase.
Yes, but I haven't had I have an actual idea for some rules that I need to follow in my hardcore, and I think that I haven't really given it a go, and I think that I'm ready to give it a real go. So maybe those two things, and then obviously I would love to come play some New World and stuff too.
Have you seen those TikToks of like men standing in like the middle of a doorway, and it's like ominous music, and it's like when you get that random urge to start a Minecraft server once a year, and it's just like he's just standing there, and it's like raining outdoors, and it's just you just get that random craving to start like a 3-month Minecraft server for no reason.
Everyone does it. And you gotta get the itch at the same time as all the other streamers. Unfortunately, the Tarkov people all had it in April, so I don't know if they're going to be back for a while, but we'll see. All right, I will redirect us. I will get us back on the rails. Anyone who's listened to episode 1 of season 3, this is episode 2 of season 3. I'm just going with that until I can count the episodes again. We have been revisiting things from our childhood, nostalgic things, if you will. That is TV shows. Well, we've done a TV show. We did Ren and Stimpy the first week, and this week we're doing a movie, and kind of just hit me that I hadn't seen it in a while. It is one of the most, let's be honest, people our age, a lot of our quotes that we say to this day are influenced by this movie and movies like it, the golden age of 2000, 2000s, 2010s, like rom-coms, goofy, like Judd Apatow types movies. Today we are talking about a absolute classic, Vince Vaughn's best work in my opinion, Wedding Crashers. I'm so excited. Holy hell. One of the most quotable movies ever made.
Dude, they just
quick,
don't stop.
They just don't stop. And then so this became an exercise in remembering about a bunch of like, I feel like the tier 2 quotes that I like the tier 2 quotes a lot. And there was a couple that just sent me I was watching it on the plane. We were flying, and I was like, I forgot that existed. I'm so very happy.
Same.
Some quick stats on Wedding Crashers. Released in 2005. It was an instant comedy hit. It was directed by David Dobkin, starring obviously Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson in the leading roles, Rachel McAdams, Bradley Cooper, Christopher Walken, Isla Fisher, it's Will Ferrell, like Jane Seymour. Like there's so many people in this movie.
I think it's Isla. Is it not?
Is it Isla? So did I put an S in there?
You pronounce the S, which I don't. I get it.
Oh no,
Isla.
I have it. I have it. ILSA. And then I said it wrong anyways.
Ilsa.
It's Isla Fisher. My fault. Isla Fisher. I went really quickly.
She listens to the pod. She's very upset.
Please don't hate me, Isla. Yeah. So it's so great. It's the best. We have our categories, which are going to be a little bit different than last time. Hopefully, the 9th text I sent you guys got the right ones to you. I kept trying to.
Can we provide a story to that real quick?
I kept trying to shift return. I was typing it into the text field on my laptop, and then I was like, "Fuck!" I sent it again, and then I deleted it. I still have one more line to write. I wrote it, and I did it again. I was like, "God damn it! I should just do this in a note and then copy and paste it." That's usually what I do.
We have a group message, and all of a sudden, Trevor sent like 8 straight messages of the exact same thing, and we're just like
slightly different messages.
What's going? And this wasn't like a 2-sentence thing. This was like the outline
for the whole show,
like the outline for the entire show, with APA like formatted citations and over and over. Yeah.
And you guys are like, "What is happening?" And I realized that when I delete the text, it doesn't unsend it. So you're getting them.
Was that what it was? You thought you were deleting?
No. I knew I was doing. I'm like, 1 or 2 would be okay, and then about 10 times, I was like, well, I don't want to see them all in mine, so I just deleted them.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, no, that's my.
I just assumed you. I just assumed you were on a plane and like the Wi-Fi wasn't working, so you were.
Well,
just,
there was
pressing
that too. So the first one actually didn't send. The first one didn't send. It's funny. Man. So you only got you got them all except for one.
I will say, full disclosure, I did not watch the movie, so I will be sitting out for this.
Appreciate it. Very good.
You remember stuff. You can pop in and be like, I remember that was great.
Yeah, if I remember anything, I'll pop in and say something. Yeah. So
I watched.
Oh, that's good. Let's get into
crap out of it. Yeah, let's get into it. So our first little section here is touching on the plot. We did that with our episode there. So kind of like how we remember it. Mm-hmm. Going, and then like if it was a little bit different maybe the second time watching, but go ahead, Paul. What do you got for this?
I feel like I kind of nailed it. I mean, mine was a little maybe too in depth. I was like, 2 friends go to weddings and hook up with girls and eventually realize that what they both want is a committed relationship, even after one of them seeks one, which starts to alienate them from each other. Maybe it was a little too.
No, nailed it.
I kind of like that was kind of what I thought. That was before even watching it. I was like, this is how I remember it. So.
Yeah, you've seen it a lot, huh?
Yeah. And then afterwards, the rewatch was, yep, that's about right. So,
yeah. I mean, I have the nostalgia. I remember loving the redemption story of 2 immature adults learning how to have a committed, serious relationship.
Yeah, that's
generally it. And maybe just it's in the presence of guys that if you haven't seen Wedding Crashers, I don't know what even if you're 15 years old, if you have not seen this movie. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
It's like a rite of passage. Like you need to go watch it right now.
This is it's in the vein of like, I know that Apatow didn't make this movie, but like it was a very similar in that time frame. You know, for then like Wedding Crashers kind of set the ball rolling a little bit as one of the earlier ones. And then like 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, Step Brothers, Hall Pass, role models, like those type of movies. With then they all had Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson, Jason Sudeikis,
like the Gilded Age.
Guys. The Gilded Age, yeah. And then all the way up to like Hangover, and like this was Bradley Cooper. Like those guys were all kind of. It was that type of like irreverent humor where they, said dumb shit, bro shit. Like it's just bro-y ass.
Yeah,
movies,
very bro-y.
Which this one's pretty bro-y, but to be honest, most of it holds up all right. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, upon rewatch, I was just like, yeah, the redemption arc. It's the same thing. John is Owen Wilson. Something's missing. Yes. John starts it. Jeremy follows, and that's exactly how I remember it. But I also forgot how like it kind of the movie stretches, like the acts of the movie, first, second act, and the second act and third act, because usually most movies are in 3-act structure. It's like they're very separate from each other. Like they're in different settings, right? So it's like you can very much see. Helpful. Yeah, you can very much see the difference, which it makes it easier to follow, and actually kind of adds quite a bit. Like it was very structured, but I was like, oh, that's why this movie, because it's 2 hours long. Like that's a long.
It was
comedy.
long. Yeah,
it's a really long.
I'll have time to watch this, and I was like, holy, shit, I forgot.
It's like almost exactly 2 hours, and I was like, that's a long movie for like a slapstick comedy. And then I'm just like, actually, it's just a good movie too. But it is
also a good movie. Yeah,
it's just 2 hours of quote after quote after quote.
Exactly. What do you think of the performances? Right, because that's our
you
next
took words
section.
right out. Performances
Right.
section 2.
Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna come up with. Eventually, we'll have some jokes going here and stuff. So we'll rename these to not just like performances. We'll have some fun stuff. But
Yeah.
for now, that's what it's called. The performances that I remembered going in was one, the quintessential Vince Vaughn rants, quick rants,
Yes.
quick rants where he slowly, quickly, like talks over somebody for the first couple words and keeps going, and then they all have this flow going. I don't know how they do that. I think that was the most probably Owen Wilson movie ever.
Yeah.
He doesn't say wow, but
He does not say wow, not one
it
time.
was just charming Owen Wilson. He's so charming. To be honest, I'd fall in love with him if I was Rachel too. So
I know.
And then I remember the Will Ferrell cameo. Obviously, also it won't die because of the gifs on in messages and on Twitter. And
Agreed.
he's still idiot. That one. He's still everywhere, and he's Will Ferrell. He's still hilarious. So those are 3 I really remembered. And then the ones upon rewatch that I was like, I forgot how good these were. Was Isla Fisher as Gloria. She is hilarious.
Yes.
She's got some of the best quotes in the movie, or the best deliveries in the movie. And then Jane Seymour as Mrs. Cleary, being the cougar.
Yes,
like, they crushed it. And Jane Seymour is a legend. So like, it's even funnier remembering that she was in it and that she played that character.
And she's like a serious actor.
She's a very she has had some incredible performances, and now every time I see her, I'm like, she made Wilson grab her boobies.
Feel them. Yeah, I agree. I think that when I looking back on it, I was just kind of thinking of overall general performance, and like I think in general, when you have a nostalgia based movie, I think the very nature of it being a nostalgia movie, you don't think that anyone did poorly because you wouldn't like the movie otherwise. So I was just like, I think everyone did great. Like I was just like, I don't think no one was unbelievable in that movie. But I would agree on a second rewatch, Isla Fisher's character is hilarious and so well done, and just a little kind of like the delivery of some of those things, like I'd find you, like that, and then even after she's like done, basically just like jacking off Vince Vaughn under the table, like they cut to another scene, and she's like, like she just makes this noise in the background. You're like, it's so good. So it's just some of the stuff like that. Yeah, I would agree. Isla Fisher's character was a standout that I didn't really fully remember in my nostalgia. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Or she was a standout.
She's great. She's so good. That kind of takes us to best scenes here. Kind of popped into one.
Gosh,
so the 3 main ones that I always remember, like that I quote immediately when someone brings this movie up, are the football scene when they're playing quote unquote touch football. Because it's just everything's funny about that. The Todd and Jeremy Vince in the bed when he's tied to the bed. The Tommy Sticks quote is great. And then when he goes and visit Will Ferrell, and he's like, I'm on a hang glide. I'll take a picture. I'm dead. Like that. that scene I just remember all the time too. And again, that gif. But upon rewatching, there's so many more. So the very beginning, when they're introducing the movie, and Jeremy's like, it's wedding season, baby. He's like, catch that beautiful buddy vibe, pal. It's wedding season. That part.
Yeah.
Like you're like, yeah, we're gonna watch it. I forgot about that whole exchange because they crush it.
They do. Yes.
When they're walking, then the quail hunt, and Jeremy's like, yeah, like why can't we hunt something cool like a hawk or a falcon? He's like, or like a human being, like
a human being. Whoa, I don't know. It's a little heavy, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and they
like
just,
a trained,
just kind of
like knows the forest. Yeah.
When they're dancing and they're going through all at the very beginning in the first act when they're going through all the different weddings, and he's like, that's it. Or, when Vince is like getting everyone going and he just goes, that's it. I always love that. Grow Up Peter Pan, Count Chocula. I'm pretty sure that was that was ad-libbed and great. Grow Up Peter Pan, Count Chocula. Like just incredible delivery.
I forgot all about that scene, and I saw it and I was crying. Dude. I'd like to be pimps from Oakland or cowboys from Arizona, but it's not Halloween. Grow up, Peter Pan.
Exactly.
Count Chocula.
No, just the delivery. Off camera, he was like, "Dude, nice." When they're at dinner and Christopher Walken's like, "So Jeremy, saw you on the dance floor. You got good moves. And he just kicks him under the table. Like, just I told you. Like, that's so funny.
Oh, shit. Oh my gosh.
The whole
way
dinner
he does
scene.
it too.
The grandma going, Todd's a homo. That's great. Eleanor Roosevelt is the slur. I'll avoid that one, even though it is a quote from a movie, but you know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Just the entire the whole scene is incredible. And then
man.
obviously when he's tied to the bed. So like all those, like I'm like, these are actually funnier than I remember them being.
Yes. That whole movie, yes, was either as or funnier than I remember it being. And it's like Wedding Crashers for me personally is one of my favorite comedies like of all time. Which I know I get a lot of like not a lot of hate for because people are like, oh, like Tommy Boy or whatever. I don't know. There's always like the I can't remember his name. Chris Farley. The Chris Farley movies, which I love, but I didn't grow up with those. Like I remember Wedding Crashers and they nailed it. It's so good. Which I feel like I almost want to go to one of our last points. Like, could you make this movie again? But I'll hold off.
Yeah,
on that.
We can.
Next part is we want to talk about is the soundtrack and the score.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything in particular from the soundtrack and the score, but I will say like nostalgia wise. But upon rewatch, I freaking love it. I think it does. I think the score does such a good job of like, I don't know, like evoking the emotion of them. I'm like, so for instance, in the beginning, it's just like the barbershop quartet, like
yeah.
I was like, first of all, it was great. And it also kind of just like sets the tone of like these two dudes, like they're in a quartet, like they're kind of like they're together, they're on the same page, they're wearing similar things, and they're just like performing basically at these weddings as like different characters. And so it very much mirrored the scenes. And then I remember in particular one, like when they go to the Cleary wedding, something about the music in that is very like, it's almost like weirdly romantic and also light. Like you just feel like you're like I felt like I was at the wedding. You feel like you're on a coast and the wind's blowing and there's like umbrellas and this beautiful wedding and it feels classy. And then you have like Vince Vaughn shoving crab cakes in his mouth. It's like class. And class. It just is. I love the soundtrack and it just really evoked like old school emotions of how I felt when I first watched the movie. Hearing those things again.
The sets the tone, right? You're like, we're about to get into shenanigans, right?
Exactly.
And then obviously the way that shout kind of represents them having fun or not. So the way that you shout, obviously, and then when we were horny teenagers, we're like, we gotta watch the unrated version. There's boobs, like during the shout part when they're hooking up with all the girls. And so that was part of it. Just I would be lying if I didn't say I was like, that's why wedding crashers, because there's boobs. There's no internet because it's 2004 or 5, but Shout was the one upon rewatch, so I couldn't really remember anything either. I was like, they used a bunch of popular songs, right? Old, like I knew that,
yes.
But like there was no like, it wasn't like White Lotus. There's nothing like that's the theme or something. But the shout is through it a lot, and whether or not they're enjoying shout, the song shout represents whether or not they're happy.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
So that's how they used it, and I thought it was pretty good because it was in the beginning and then it's at the end. So, or towards, it's like you can see it getting phased out, like they're not enjoying it as much as it go on. They don't like what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, that was it. The shout was the one that I noticed at the second, but yeah, I felt the same way about the intro.
It's so good. Yeah, the shout is like it does set the tone for the whole movie. You're like, this is the most fun ever. Like I want to go crash a wedding immediately. Like I immediately want to go do that. That sounds like so much fun. That's how I felt anyway.
All right. Well, that takes us to our next section. The quote section, the best quotes. I mean, I'm gonna honestly, if we can name this one, we'll call this the Vince Vaughn best quotes section or awards. Vince Vaughn, because he pretty much all these are his. Okay, so these are the nostalgia ones for me. So I apologize if I'm stealing them, but like, fudge,
no,
I got a lot. I'm gonna rapid fire these. My favorite This is my favorite quote from this movie, and it's the underrated one, and the delivery is just perfect. When the guys lined up, they're playing football, and Vince Vaughn's lined up as a quarterback. He's like, "You want the noise brought on you, the noise," and he goes, "Just hike the ball, nut job." Like when he says, "Just hike the ball, nut job," is
hike the ball, nut job.
Is incredible. Little side one there when he's like, "Hey, could you throw a interception to Claire? I think it'll make her feel good." And he's like, "I was all state, baby. I can put the ball wherever I want."
His first team all state at the ball where I want.
Another quick one. I don't even know what the fuck a quail is. That's
that was one for you, dude.
I remember that one.
That one was good. It's literally the way Owen Wilson goes, "Fuck." Like he goes, "I don't know what the fuck a quail is." Like it was pretty funny. Back to Vince Vaughn going, "Blue 52, hot route. I don't know what hot route means. Just go to the other side.
Just please tell me this.
Let's play tummy sticks. I don't want to play tummy sticks. The way he just quickly Vince Vaughn's it at him. That's pretty good. The painting was a gift, Todd. I'm taking it with me. That's one everyone remembers.
Oh yeah.
Never leave me because I'll find you. Isla Fisher. And then her like her maniacal laugh at the end was like nailed it. I can't help it. I'm a coxman.
Yes.
Which anyone who doesn't know what an actual coxman is, it's the person that directs the rowing boat for rowing teams.
Is it really?
Yeah. Row. That's a coxman.
I did not know that. That's hilarious.
Which is a very like up. So it had to kind of double entendre, double meaning, right? Because they're in a northeast wedding. Everyone rows and plays lacrosse and knows what a coxman is.
Interesting.
Erroneous on all counts. First time I ever heard erroneous. I've used it thousands of times since. And I'm in the trenches taking grenades, John.
Dude, these are all phenomenal.
They're on Pawn Rewatch. The first quote in the movie when they're doing the mediation at the beginning is, "Oh yeah, why don't you kiss my left nut?" When he says that to his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Her name is good. Chastity, and she is white trash. So are you, hillbilly. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. That whole thing. Whatever. Make me a bicycle clown. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Haha, she's joking. I feel so good when she jokes. And then when Bradley Cooper shows up after they're going on the quail hunt, he goes, and Jeremy, Vince Vaughn, he goes, "Let's go kill some birds. I'm psyched."
Yeah. Just your general demeanor towards everybody. But I'm psyched. Let's go kill some birds.
All right, what quotes did I not say, Paul, that you loved?
Gosh. Let's see.
I just went off with this one.
No, it's all right. It's okay. I don't have nearly as many, but I do have some. So nostalgia quotes for me were crab cakes and football. That's what Maryland does. I say that all the time, and no one ever knows what the hell I'm talking about.
I am so glad you grabbed that one. That is the best quote from the entire fucking movie.
That's great.
Tommy,
oh my god, cousin Tommy, dude.
It's just so good. Yeah, he's like such a random like little side character, and the fact that he steals crab cakes from Jeremy's character because like Jeremy loves crab cakes, but he says that's what I do. Anyway, so that one. I'm gonna go ice my balls and spit up blood. I say that all the time, and everyone's like, "Are you okay?"
Go ice my balls, spit up blood.
Go ice my balls, spit up blood. Where is she? She's still in the house. That one.
She's still in the house. So funny. Like she's a dog or something.
Exactly.
I don't know. Has she escaped? What are you talking about?
She's still in the house.
Funny.
Talking about the mom after Owen Wilson's character grabbed her boobs. Yeah, so those are ones that stand out to me. Upon rewatch, it was the same way we talked about before. I like to be pimps from Oakland or cowboys from Arizona, but it's not Halloween. Grow up, Peter Pan, Count Chocula. It's so good. And you can tell that it's like riffed. Like there's no way they wrote that down. Like that definitely
had to be ad-libbed. The way that they deliver is there's no way that they did a bunch of takes and a bunch of different random quotes for sure.
Exactly.
When he's like, you sandbagging son of a bitch.
Did
you motorboat him? You old sailor, you. Like that little extra, like the old sailor you part. Like that.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah, little stuff
when
like
Vince
that.
Vaughn at the beginning is like, "You could throw us some miles, and then we could just take this whole thing. We could stop
You
talking.
throw us some miles. We'd love some miles.
We could take some miles, and and then we could just move past this thing."
You guys just both stop talking right now.
That's awesome.
And then yeah, the one you loved as well. I'm a coxman. And then it's so funny because people turn around. Nolan Wilson's just like Tourette's. That gets me too. And then and a low key one that I didn't really remember is the what's his name? What's his the basically the help, right? I can't remember that guy's name. Like Gerard or Bartholomew or something. Anyway, he's Vince Vaughn catches the grandma in his bed, and so he has to carry her back to her room, and he pops out. He's like, "How much jam you got, man?"
Like he knows what's going on the whole time and just doesn't care.
It's like you banging the daughter and the grandmother.
I forgot.
Be
about
careful.
That too.
She be pushing 90. So those are the quotes that stuck out to me that I freaking love so much.
Feels so good.
I mean, dude, there's a million. There's the whole movie. It's just full of them.
Bro.
Oh my gosh.
All of those. We use them all. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me was basically,
dude, that's like all I said for like 5 years.
Yeah, for forever. And then it like very subtly flashes back to Vince Vaughn. He's like, "What?" Like, and it was really, really great the way that was delivered as well. But that the whole thing is just so
the comedic timing. Yes. Yes. All right. Next part. What do we got? What is it? I don't have my notes.
Could you make this now?
Oh yeah. Could you make this now? So I'm gonna say mostly yes. You could make this now. I think that there are some things that you couldn't have in there anymore. Like the trigger warning, I guess. Trigger warning. There it is. The rape scene. I mean, maybe. It's comedically well done, but I don't know that you could have that. I don't know. Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't, but I feel like if the roles were I kept thinking that. I was like, if the roles were reversed, if that was Vince Vaughn and Isla Fisher was tied up, I'm like, that would be like not good. It'd be real bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If the roles were reversed, could you do it? So, but like, I don't know, some of the other stuff is not huge, but I mean, it's like it pushes the envelope on some things for sure. Yeah. Like for instance, when he Sack calls his buddy, he's playing tennis. He's like, "Hey man, what was that guy that we hired?" He was like, "Bobby Galifano, like the WAP genius." And I was like, I never realized that he called him that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, that's they probably wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Then they also use one of the moves they use on the girls is to call themselves pussies. Right.
Wait.
And I'm like, they probably wouldn't use. They wouldn't be like, "I'm such a pussy." Like they wouldn't. Like that wouldn't land.
Oh,
it seems pretty. Yeah, It's still pretty tame. I don't think anyone's offended really. They're just that's just not that funny.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. Have you seen 21 Jump Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that one next. That would be a good one. But I think if they were to remake it today, it would be a lot of like Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson making a joke, and then someone being like, "Dude, you can't say that. Like, what are you doing?" And then they're like, "Trying to do that. Stop being soft." And they're like, "No, bro. Like, you're an idiot. Stop saying that." And everyone's like, kind of against them. Like, they could almost kind of make more fun of the quote unquote PC culture, as opposed to like actually just kind of saying the things that were used to be said back in the early 2000s.
Well, that's kind of when it started to die. Remember when they did that movie where they were they're interns at the Google and they tried to make them feel like make them that character? Like they kept saying on the line. They're like, "No, it's online, bro." Like them be like old. That was the point.
Yeah.
And it kind of just fell flat, and then no movies were made after that.
I do remember that.
Because they tried pop culture references and stuff, and they just go so fast now that they never land for more than 6 months. So like, they don't people like that's kind of what humor became, and then it happened so fast that you can't make anything that lasts anymore. Like that's why people don't make them very much. But I'd say the use of that kind of little bit of a running joke, using that as like a self-deprecating, probably wouldn't use it anymore. It's just kind of weak, and also just there's other ways to make that funny. But generally, and even the being tied up to the bed scene, like it was always just like it never went anywhere past an insinuation even anyway. So like there was never anything like I don't know. It was like it wasn't about the situation very much. It was just about their interaction. So it was.
Yeah,
I think that was
yeah.
it was kind of close to the line, and maybe they would set that up differently, but I don't
Mhm.
think that it would be. It would be they'd be like maybe not, maybe in a different way. Maybe we
Yeah.
show this in a different way where
Well, that's
he's
also
in
like
a
the point.
compromised situation with no control.
Exactly. Yes, and I think that's a good point because the whole point of that is that he's compromised. He has no control. So you
Yeah,
could portray that differently. And I was kind of thinking too. I'm like, but like, isn't that the point of comedy? Is to literally, it's to push the envelope. Like you're
yeah,
doing that. That's what makes it so funny. Is that people would never in a day to day scenario push the limit on something like that. Not people
yeah,
would never, but in general in public, you
yeah.
would never experience that.
That's just where
That's
we're
what
at now.
makes it funny. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like you push the envelope on that stuff. Like I don't know. Like for instance, even something like Blazing Saddles somehow is
oh
still funny,
yeah,
right? And it's like
but
that you could not make that now, but
it's
somehow
now
it's
it's like
still.
forbidden, but it's already
Oh
been
yeah,
made, so it's
exactly.
okay. It's
So
like
yeah,
grandfathered in.
yes, yes, and I try not to. I try to toe the line between uh, like obviously I'm not every minority group, but I am one, and I feel like I want to be mindful of how little nuances like that can uh, start to poke holes and wear down a group of people. Like that can be kind of demeaning and whatnot. Like I totally understand that, but I also don't want to take things so seriously that I get upset or frustrated when a topic or a group of people isn't wholly respected and revered um, in a way that you can't even make fun of anything. Like if that were the case, you could only ever make fun of white men, and it would
Yeah.
be like that, like the only. Which I mean, there's a lot of content there, but it feels like you could do more
100%.
than that.
Now we have one
I
type of thing
mean,
we can do. So
that's
Yeah.
technically what Dave Chappelle did for a while, right?
yeah,
Like that was kind of his whole thing was he would push the boundaries over and over again, and then it got to a point where recently it's been kind of backfiring on him.
Hmm.
And instead of like conforming to the opinions of like pretty much the masses, he's just doubled down on it.
yeah,
And whether or
Hmm.
not that's been beneficial for him or not, I feel like we're kind of at that crossroads with comedy in general where comedians now more than ever have to actually be careful with what they say, and that doesn't
Hmm.
feel like that's ever been the case
yeah.
before.
It feels
Yeah.
very anti comedy too. So like I understand the frustration. 100% understand the frustration.
Yeah.
Uh, but you see guys like I think guys that have handled it really well. Like there's a reason Theo Von's so popular right now is because he's like always just like he just seems so genuine when he asks really crazy questions. So like he gets away with
Mm-hmm.
it. Does that make
Yes.
sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's close a lot, but he's like genuine, like I genuinely don't know. And you're like, oh, well, I can't be mad at you then.
Yeah.
Like he's got that vibe, like Shane Gillis, similar. Like he's always like "Ruh," and then close. But a guy who's actually just it, I think, stand-up comedy wise, anyways. Tom Segura, the way he's changed his over
Yeah.
time, like
Yep.
he's always like, I'm gonna you're gonna use, I'm gonna say something, but your brain's gonna produce it, so it's your fault. Like he always
Yeah.
he goes,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah. He
picturing
leads
it, so
you
that
there.
he's like you picture him, and then that's the joke because you're like, there's only one thing to picture here, and you just said a joke without saying it, which is really clever.
Clever.
Anyway, so he does that now, but they've also like now a podcast now where they're actually like vulnerable human beings, and they talk about like they're vulnerable and they talk about their own stuff and how like their own why they're funny and whatever. And then as soon as you do
Yes.
that stuff, like Bo Burnham, right? Like I
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bo Burnham can say anything now for me because
Yeah.
I know he knows. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's like aware of.
Like he knows
Mm,
where the lines are because he's been very clear about it.
yes.
And that he's crossing them on once you know they're crossing stuff on purpose, like like it's very clear. I feel like people are more open to like the jokes, but
Okay.
again, that's kind of where that's the best way to do it now. But again, that's way more work than it used to be. I totally get it why that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly let's move on so we don't get too far beyond where we were planning to go. Originality. So this was an interesting one for this. Like, how original was the movie at its
Hmm.
time, like compared to everything else? I would say that maybe the movie was one of the first ones, in my opinion. So I
Hmm.
remember it being one of the first ones of this kind of format, but then there being a ton of movies like this format, like I mentioned earlier, in the next like 5 years, like from 05 to 10. Like this
Correct.
became the template. I can't specifically remember if this was first. I believe it was like one of the first that really was a hit, and then people started building things with this template kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But it came down to it, like we got to the point where we knew where we were going to go with this. Like the plots were going to be crazy when it comes to like 40-Year-Old Virgin or whatever. It's just funny situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's all about the performances and deliveries. And like when you, and so we were spoiled with like Steve Carell, Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn,
Oh,
Owen Wilson, like
yes.
for Dodgeball, all these movies with these really awesome performances, comedic performances from these guys
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. And they all just like thrived in these formats. So like it was original for the time, kind of, but then it became unoriginal quickly. Makes sense?
It did, yeah, yeah. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Like it
No.
just was. It was different versions of a similar thing over time, but it was with new characters and slightly different actors who all kept kind of raising the bar to some extent. Like I had like a new favorite actor, comedic actor, like every year. Um, so I don't think it was a bad thing. The template itself, I mean, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty old, not in a bad way. I mean, I think like you have reckless guy kind of doing what he wants, says he doesn't want a thing, finds out that's actually what he wanted the whole time, and that causes conflict with the other person who hasn't realized it yet. So yeah, I think that that's a pretty normal plot. I do think that I mean, I had never heard of Wedding Crashing, but I was also 15. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you just go to weddings you're not invited to? That seems really easy and a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was a good format, and I related all those other movies that you talked about that came afterwards to it, like almost like it was birthed from it. And
Yeah.
someone I'm sure that's listening is like, this movie happened first, and this was the one that informed it. Maybe it did, but I don't know that I had as much success as Wedding Crashers did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They're all related. They all fed each other. Especially people were going back and watching it too from the other ones I watch. Like, it's just the way it is. What
yeah.
about what aged the best and what aged the worst for you?
What aged the best? The comedic timing of
Mm.
everyone in that movie was incredible. No one was like awkward or bad. Even like the side characters, even like the throwaway characters. At one point, like when they go to the Leary wedding, they see this woman that Vince Vaughn is hooked up with, or Jeremy is hooked up with before, and they're like, "Oh, this is slow mo. I thought you renounced your possessions and moved to Nepal." And he like acts like he had like an oxygen deprivation accident.
Yeah, he couldn't
Like
speak anymore. He's mute.
exactly. Even that woman who was there, just some of her little nuances of like her acting was great, and she was in the movie for 3 minutes, if that. So I really enjoyed everyone's performance. I thought that was really really good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. No notes
Yeah.
on that.
What about worst?
Oh yeah, worst. The probably the two I mentioned, the rape scene, which I think could be done differently, and oh, I just remember one of my favorite quotes immediately. Immediately, one of my favorite quotes after
What do you
watching
got?
it. Get in the closet, get in the closet, get in the closet, get in the closet, get in the
Get in the
closet.
closet.
He
Get
just
in the
he
closet.
just says it over and over. Get in the closet, get in the closet. It's like the desperation in his voice was so good. Yeah, so that, and then the WAP Genius. I was like, man, I don't know, you can't say that anymore. I don't think so. Yeah. Anywho,
Wasn't great then either. But I'd say the best quote, still the most quotable, I think, for people our age that are dudes.
yeah,
Let's be honest. There's some girls, but they're more. Kate knows Step Brothers
yeah,
more than she knows White Crashers.
sure, yeah,
And lots of jokes still land, are still funny, and still culturally relevant to that area of the country, the Northeast, like the Cape
yes,
Cod, New England area. Like people love it.
hmm
It's still all exactly the same.
oh,
Like that,
hmm
it's everything's the same. And then I would say that we were supposed to hate Chad Bradley Cooper then, and now, but now we really hate Chad. Like
oh
he
yeah,
aged. He
yes,
aged the way that he's supposed to age perfectly. He is the best film. Like now everyone's like, "Oh my god."
yeah, that guy
Like
sucks.
he
Yeah,
really, it's not
yeah,
subtle patriarchy. He's just in your face with it. And he just
yeah, yeah.
sucks. And
That's
that's
true.
what
It's a
we're
good
supposed to
point.
feel about him. And we feel that very, 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 very hard now if we rewatch
Yeah,
it.
it stood
Um,
out more now than it ever did before. And I was like,
which
jeez,
great
like,
job.
yeah,
Yeah. Great job, Bradley. You're really easy to hate.
exactly.
and worst, the using pussy constantly to say weak probably wouldn't
Oh,
be
sure.
used as much. And then the whole joke around Todd being gay, I think,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
being a pariah because he's gay, it would
Mm,
would be
yeah,
like it wouldn't be they'd probably still be there, or like it would be he'd be like, I don't know, he'd be trying there would be something there,
yeah,
but
yeah,
he would also probably be like more less of a like beat down and more of a F you guys situation. Like, I'm better than you. Like, if that would be more the joke. Like, look, I'm cooler than you. Like, I'm more unique.
yes,
Like, you guys are all normal and I'm cool. Like, that's probably where the joke would go now.
yes,
Um, but like what Christopher Walken said, he's like, actually, you being gay might help me in the polls. He said that like straight up,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
they would use that joke though,
yes,
but about
100%.
whatever his situation is now.
Mhm.
So yeah, that wouldn't be it wouldn't be such like a thing, because now it's every family or everything we watch has that one of those
Yes.
timelines going, which is good, but like it wouldn't land the same way, so they would change it up, I think.
I feel like
Um,
they would also give him some sort of like partner or something towards the end. Like they
yeah,
would meet up. Like two of the outcasts or pariahs
yeah,
would
yeah,
meet up, and then they'd have like I feel like he had a decent
happy
amount
ending.
of power. Yeah, exactly. In the movie anyway. Like he actually kind of exuded some power, even though he was a pariah. Like he wasn't downtrodden the entire time. But I
Yeah.
agree, his story would have been different.
Which, yeah, a little part of that was it was a gift, Todd. I'm taking it with me, and he was like happy
Exactly.
about it. Like that was
Yeah.
kind of his redemption a little bit. They gave him
Yes.
that, so he wasn't just
Yeah.
the butt of the joke the whole time, then just moved on.
Yes.
But yeah, I think there would have been more of he would have also got a relationship with them, is what would have happened. Which
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
honestly would work. I think it would work, and it would serve the same purpose, and the movie still be really good. So
Exactly.
that'd be cool. Cultural impact. So
Yeah.
this one's just like, how does it affect us? I think we've touched on it a couple times.
Yeah.
This is an experimental category before we get into the real good one at the end. One of the most quoted movies of all time, in my opinion. That's what I remember.
Correct.
So it's definitely on its own had a huge impact, especially on our age group. And then my rewatch is like, this is a very nostalgic era of movies. There's a lot of good stuff in this area you can always go back to, and you kind of just gotta go through some of the more wishy-washy jokes. But for the most part, the big stuff all kind of holds up, and you can still use these quotes, which means it's been timeless, at least up to this point, which is awesome.
Yeah. It was a long time.
Yeah,
Almost 20 years. So yeah.
yeah,
I agree. Cultural impact. I mean, my culture, my friend groups, it dominated. Every person I met in my age group knew about this movie, quoted it, loved it. So I mean, for that time period when I was 15, this is the movie that everyone watched. I mean, I watched it probably 3 times in theaters. It
yeah.
was
I
it
think I
was
saw it
very
three
good.
times in theaters too. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
So uh, the can I move on to the next portion?
Yeah,
The recast, right? The
yeah.
updated
Recasting couch.
recast. Nope. What
No, that's what
was that?
they call it that on rewatchables anyway. So I can't steal that. So
Oh, well, there you go.
so if we want to do some recasts, yeah.
Okay, so my recast, I would do.
So there's two little did you do both categories or just one?
Oh, I just did one. I just did
Okay,
the two main
so I
characters.
did. Maybe we could just add this for later.
Yeah, yeah.
I said who would play them if it were made today. Each main
Yes.
character, like the top 4 main characters, I'd pick 4 characters, and then
Oh, you
who would
did?
have played
Okay.
them? Who would have been an alternate to play them then? Like who was
Oh,
also famous
then.
then, who could have done a good job. So,
Oh, jeez.
so anyway, I don't. If you're probably just doing today, right?
Yeah, I just did today.
Okay. Who do you got? Who do you got for your 4 for
All
today
right.
then?
Today, for my, yeah, I got two. I would do for Jeremy and Owen's character. I can't remember his name. John. Jeremy and John. Zac Efron and Matt Rife, actually.
Matt Rife, huh?
Yeah.
The 2 most attractive people you can think of.
I thought, I mean, Zac Efron looks like a Giga Chad now, but yeah, no, I think that Zac Efron would do. I think Zac Efron's hilarious. I think he's actually really, really good at comedy. And then Matt Rife, I think, is also really good. Mainly, I picked him for 2 reasons. One, he's similar in appearance to Owen Wilson, but also relative similar appearance. But also, he's very good at on the fly comedy, so he could riff. I think with the best of them, I think he'd do really well in that role.
And do you just have those 2, or did you do?
I got just those 2.
Okay, those 2. So
Just
I did Rachel McAdams and Bradley Cooper too.
Okay, all right.
just for fun. So if you want to come up with one off the top of your head while I'm talking them,
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So if the main characters were made, if it were made today, Owen Wilson, Ryan Gosling, playing Owen Wilson's character John.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling,
Vince Vaughn. This is kind of out there, but I think
Hmm.
these two together would be a very interesting dynamic that I don't think anyone's thought of. John Cena playing Vince Vaughn's character John.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think he can do like the quick rants similarly. Like he can
I think you're right.
You know
yes.
He could be like, get in the closet, get in the closet, get in the closet. You can imagine him saying that.
Yes,
Rachel
I can
McAdams'
imagine
character,
that.
Rachel McAdams' character, Claire, Emma Stone.
Oh,
I think
sure.
she would crush that. And then Bradley Cooper would be played by Miles Teller. Bradley Cooper or Chad Miles Teller. I could see him being an asshole.
Interesting.
I think he could do it, even though he's been really cool in the movies he's been in recently. I think that he can be an asshole with the best of them.
Can I throw in an underrated one for an Owen Wilson replacement?
Yeah.
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco would be another one.
Oh, Dave Franco would be
good.
You're right.
Yeah, because he can kind of play that. I don't want to say beta male, but at the same time, he can kind of rift. Like I'm just thinking of him.
He's charming too.
Jump Street. Yeah, like he's charming to an extent, but he could also play like a softer side too.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I think Ryan Gosling though would just crush it.
Oh, Ryan Gosling would be fantastic. I mean, just seeing him in Barbie recently, it was so good. All right, so I'm so one really quick. I just Googled. I was like female comedy actors, and then just comedy actors, whatever. First of all, it's very depressing because they're all very old. The first ones that come up are not young people at all, and I'm like, that kind of sucks. Like that kind of more shows where we're at now with comedy is that like a lot of these people are just older. But I would replace Rachel McAdams' character with Rose Byrne. I think Rose Byrne would be really good in that role. I don't know if you remember her. She has a lot of work with Seth Rogen, actually.
Okay.
Rose Byrne. And I can't think of, now that you said John Cena, I think that's the best one. I can't think of a replacement for Vince Vaughn. For Vince Vaughn. I think he'd be really good.
People that could do that, man.
No.
He's good.
I think he could also do Bradley Cooper's character. I think he could actually do both.
Oh yeah, he could be an asshole too.
The meathead asshole.
He could have been either one, 100%. Yeah, 100%. He could be probably anybody in that movie.
He's very good.
Really quickly before we take off, could have played the actors back then. I have Owen Wilson's Paul Rudd.
Oh my gosh,
I have Vince Vaughn as Jason Sudeikis.
Come on, yes.
Rachel McAdams, Olivia Wilde, and Bradley Cooper as Tom Cruise.
Ooh,
could you imagine Tom Cruise just being like, just really belittling and like being like he would lean way harder, I think, into the environmentalist thing.
It would be his character from Tropic Thunder. I think that's what it is, right?
Oh yeah.
Like,
or he's just Tom Cruise and he's like super but he's not so there's not so much of him being an asshole behind the scenes. Like it only happens like once, like at the end, where we realize he's actually a piece of shit.
Exactly. Yeah, like it's been the whole time.
The whole movie. You can tell it's a facade the whole time, but he never shows you until the end. Like that's what Tom Cruise would do. You're like, I knew it. I hated
stage.
That guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew it. He sucks.
We're preview of Marriage with Ike Turner over here.
Leave Olivia.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good. Wow, dang. I gotta do better.
Those are fun. We're gonna do that every time. I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do. All right. Well, okay. So let's go overall ratings real quick. My nostalgia rating, I gave it a 9.8 out of 10. That's what I was like, this is as close to perfect as I can get. I'll be honest, upon rewatch, because of the way that it held up, the way that's been timeless for the most part for 20 years, I give it a 9.9 out of 10. We don't have a perfect score here. I'm not crazy, but 9.9 is the closest you can get. What do you got? Yeah,
I'm actually pretty similar. For my nostalgia rating, I gave it 9.5. After the rewatch, it went up. It went up to about a 9.8. It was pretty close to perfect, as close as you can get as far as it holding up so well and making me laugh out loud as much as it did, and the jokes being like relatively timeless. Like they're not based in like current culture or current whatever. It's just a funny joke, period. Even the grow up Peter Pan, Count Chocula, like pimps, like that will be relevant for decades. So yeah, it wasn't like, oh yeah, that was a thing that happened back in 2005 that I don't really care about or know anymore. Yes, so jokes that lasted. 9.8. Rewatch.
We got so lucky this movie was made before iPhones, because now there's no old ass iPhones everywhere to make it feel
There
dated.
was I saw what's his name's flip phone, and I was like, oh yeah, I was reminded the time frame it came from. But other than that scene where Zach's on his phone, there was nothing really to hint at a time period that I really saw.
That it was super there's no super old looking cars or anything. Everything's like kind of luxury cars that are still kind of like that. Like, nothing was too crazy old, which is
exactly.
Filmmakers, I would try to remove trendy tech as much as you can, because we tried going down that road and it ruined everything. So let's go the other way. Let's have no tech anywhere. We're doing cabin in the woods movies only.
Super quick random note too. John McCain was in this? I did not realize John McCain was in this movie. That threw me for a loop. Did you see that?
No. I remember reading that. I can't remember exactly where he is though. Is it a cameo, or is he like walking in the background or something, just standing somewhere?
No, he's actually on screen for like a decent amount of time and speaks. He is greeting the Clearys, like Mr. Cleary, in the front of the church when they first get there to like do the wedding, and they're talking about their like when it would be a rising maple syrup conglomerate, like when they're talking about all that.
Oh, okay.
He's there. I was like, that freaking John McCain?
Yeah, he's handshaking Christopher Walken's character.
Christopher Walken.
Because they're both politicians.
Yeah.
Oh, what a cameo.
Yeah, very random political cameo. Anyway.
How'd they get John McCain in there, of all people?
Seriously. Did you know there's
like,
boobies?
I'll be in a Hollywood movie? What?
Yeah. there's a lot of boobs like 5 minutes before you're seen. You cool with that? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. We got at least a 5-minute buffer between you and the boobs. So we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
We're good. You'll be fine. People love you.
Good rewatch, man.
Yeah, you're right. He still didn't win then he didn't win the election 3 years later. Anyways, yeah, great movie. Still a great movie. Highly recommend it if you haven't watched it in a long time.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to our next one. We're going to figure out what that is and let you know. We don't know right now, though. Sorry.
Go watch the other 95 episodes we made.
Go back in time.
Come back, but we are going to get back right on the schedule. I'm home now. Yep. We spoke yesterday about getting a normal time every week that we're recording, which we had going for a long time really well, and now we need to get better at again. So we are going to. It is happening. It is happening. Just please let me go do this wedding, and then just get back and have a office that doesn't look like a hurricane happening here
soon.
All right, you want to take us out, Paul? You want to take us to the promised land?
Love to take us out. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching and listening to the Make a Day in Action podcast. You can find us on all major platforms for podcasts, including whatever you're listening to right now, and several others. Be sure to leave a rating if you can. 5 stars is appreciated. And if there's a comment section, tell us what your favorite part of this episode was. What was your favorite quote from Wedding Crashers?
And what should we cover next time?
Oh, yeah. What would you like to see us cover? That'd be fantastic. Anything, TV show, movie, cartoon, anything nostalgic that you want us to watch would be fantastic. So thank you for listening. We will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.